guys, welcome back to the Furlough Podcast. Another beautiful day. We took a little break this other week. Want to try to get some good content back in with you. We had a little bit of fun last night. We went out and enjoyed all the company. Amber laid out on us, so but that's
I wouldn't call it laying out.
she had responsibilities she had to take care of. But no, we had some funny stories last night. Nurses are kind of funny. They are. Yeah, I would say that if you want to date somebody that could really bring some laughter to your life, is date a nurse.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's a new bar opened up in town, and so I met a friend of mine that's a nurse out there, and she was telling me it's her birthday, so we met there for drinks, and she met a girlfriend of hers, came in town from Vanderbilt, and who's also a nurse, and she was telling her stories about how when she went to school there, they have to check. You have to learn how to check someone's prostate, right? So she said that they had a guy that came in and he would just walk in a robe, disrobe, put his elbows on the table, and then all the nurses would take turns fingering his butthole, checking his prostate. And it was and that they used him year after year after year, and that was his thing.
That was like his side money,
I was gonna say, did he get paid for that?
He got paid for it, but I got a feeling he would have probably done it
for free,
pro bono.
No bondo.
Sometimes you got to put the pro bono just fits, and that was one of the times.
Yeah.
But so what was interesting is that so afterwards, there was 25, 30 nurses, male and female, in the class. And then so afterwards, he didn't speak throughout. There wasn't a moan of pleasure or a sigh or anything.
Would make it even more weird.
Oh, I was going to say more awesome. But on the storytelling side. So when the last one got through, he just stood up, put his robe on, and then just walked out of the classroom, just completely normal, and it's
just business for him, right?
I guess. He's not doing that 40 hours a week. He just does it this one time a year.
So, was it?
So, that'd be a tough 40 hours.
That's a tough 40. I don't know if I could walk out normal. I'd have to walk out with a little bit of stagger. That's rough living right there.
Well, listen, for all we know, he slept with a butt plug the night before, and he comes in just to kind of get. Hey, it's very possible. Jeez.
Yeah, that'd been a good question to ask. Ask the first nurse versus the last nurse.
Good gracious, yeah.
Was that thing a little snug when you started?
But he was thoroughly checked. I'll say that.
He will not have prostate cancer.
No.
If he does, he'll know about it as soon as.
Yeah. But here was the interesting thing. And so she went on to tell me, so I was completely spellbound by this story. And so she went on to tell me that the women had to check the other women out in the room, the other female nurses, do like a pelvic exam on each other.
The students check other students?
Yeah.
That just sounds like a lawsuit.
Well, they've since dropped it. This was several years ago, but that's how they used to do it. And it was just very shocking to me that would even be permitted at any point.
Because there's people I don't like in my class. When I was in school, there was a lot of people I wouldn't want to mess with my junk. You know what I'm saying?
You don't like to talk to them. You don't even want them cupping your balls.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, did that go for the guys too?
I'm sure they probably did hernia tests on each other.
Yeah, all she did was tell me about the women on women thing. Which was just wild.
But I damn sure would. Beginning of class though, I'd see which one I like the most.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, I'm partnering up with that one.
I know that's right. Yeah, and
that's probably why they dropped it, because some guy that thinks like me was. No, it's my turn with her.
Well, I don't know if it had to be guys with guys and girls with girls or how it was, but it was incredible. But I guess you just want to make sure on that day, you don't go to the gym and be like, I forgot the shower. I just came straight in.
Unless you know who your partner is and you don't like them, and it's like, I'm just going to just get a little extra work in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my car was acting funny. I had to ride that 10 miles on that 10 speed right on.
Jesus Christ. That's brutal. Yeah.
Oh, man. I've only had a prostate exam once, and it was a horrifying experience.
Same. But I would love to hear yours, and then I'll tell you mine.
I was in boot camp, and I was doing boot camp in Orlando. And, I'm 18 years old. You think you know shit, but, you don't. And so I'm in formation or something, and here comes this little guy, and he talks to the LPO or the drill sergeant, and they call my name. They say, Bolin, you gotta go to medical. I'm like, medical? I'm just saying, and I'm the only one they call out, and I'm like, this is some fucking weird shit. So I take off, go to medical, and I go in this office, and there's two officers sitting there. Well, one's sitting down, one's standing up behind the desk. And, when you're a young kid and just joined the military, it's all yes sir, no sir. Blah blah. Everything's on point.
Mm-hmm.
So they start asking me these barrage of questions, and I'm like, and I started getting uncomfortable, and I started getting my true inner self started coming out. I started getting a little defensive because this guy was like, he asked me if I was sexually promiscuous, and I said. I just looked at him. I was like, I don't even know if I knew what promiscuous meant. But he goes, do you have a girlfriend? I said, yeah. And he goes, do y'all have sex? And I said, well, yeah. He goes, do you have sex with other girls? And I was like, well, no, I haven't. Within a certain amount of time, I hadn't. I don't know her. And so the guy goes, does she have sex with other guys? And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And I broke character. I broke boot camp character because I went, whoa, wait a minute.
This is ridiculous.
What are you trying to say?
Question.
So I'm sitting here going, I'm starting to get defensive. So the whole military thing just totally left my mind. So now I'm talking to them like I would talk to anybody. So now they're looking at me crazy, and they said, well, you're either extremely dehydrated or you have a STD. And I'm like, what? So that really blows an 18-year-old kid's head out. So, well, we're going to send you over to your, gave some medical jargon, white blood cell counts, whatever. So we're sending you over here, this and that. And nothing was said about sticking a finger in my ass, okay? So I go over, and so, as my head's just swimming, I'm thinking, what the fuck? What did this whore give me?
Yeah.
And turns out she was kind of a whore. So, things you learn after high school.
Yeah.
We made that discussion. So I'm sitting there, and this doctor comes out, and short guy, kind of stocky, but not stocky like in muscular, but just kind of big guy. He goes, come with me. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I walk in there, and it's just him. And again, no idea what's fixing to go down. And he goes, drop your pants. And I'm like, looking at him like, what the fuck? And he's putting on gloves, and I'm staring at him. I got my pants dropped. I don't know what's going on. And he starts putting this lube on his big sausage finger. And why he had the biggest fingers, my fingers are normal. This guy had kielbasa fingers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh God, wait a second. Because he's only lubing the one finger.
You disappointed you didn't lube two? What's wrong?
No, I'm just saying I figured out real quick what was fixing to go down. My spidey sense kicked off. So he's like, I need you to turn around, bend over the table. And that's like, as I did. And he goes, breathe. and not only they, go in there, but the whole fishing around was really, really make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so that was my one and only prostate exam.
It's just unusual. You have it done at 18. Yeah, it seems young to me.
Well, they were making sure, I guess it was a whole part of and it just turns out I was dehydrated. So drink water.
That's important.
Yeah,
part of the story.
Yeah. So when it was all said and done, it's like, you need to drink more water. And I'm like, what the fuck?
How about this? How about I drink a couple glasses of water, and if that don't fix it, then I'll come back and you stick a finger in my butt. I mean,
I think they just wanted to cover all their bases.
Trial and error, baby. Damn. Well, I had kidney stones, and it was the absolute worst. I heard it was bad, but mine was exceptionally bad. So I was out of commission for almost 3 weeks. So I went to my doctor, and he said that it was normal to do a prostate check when you have kidney stones, and I did not know that. And so I go, listen, man, I said, I'm really not comfortable with this. If there's any way that we can forego this, we'll just treat the kidney stones, and then I'll roll the dice on prostate cancer at this point. And he goes, I really don't recommend it. He says, this is the best time to check. So I drop my pants, I put my elbows on the table, and I go, listen, man, really, I mean, I'm having second thoughts. I'm very uncomfortable with this. And he goes, hey, are those new shoes that just came out? I go, yeah, as a matter of fact. And halfway through my response, he slips his finger in my ass. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I bet he was in hell in high school.
Yeah, that was a good distraction there.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yeah, no, it's once they go in and then they hook their finger, that's the killer right there. But anyways, listen, we've actually probably been on this subject so long, I'm starting to get uncomfortable again, like I was that day in the office. So
I can't believe anything would make you uncomfortable.
A finger in my butt makes me uncomfortable. When it's just me and an old man in a room. Yeah. And the fact that he had both hands on my shoulders is what really made me uncomfortable. But anyways, enough.
No, that's awesome though. I mean, I know some nurses, and I know they would probably have some tremendous stories. I know we should probably get a good nurse in that's been a nurse for extremely long time, maybe an ER nurse or something like that.
Molly would do a call in.
She may.
We need like someone that's worked in trauma.
Well, that's what she does.
Oh, really?
In Chicago.
Oh, my God.
She's probably seen.
Molly, we got you a seat, baby, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to talk her into that. I'm sure she's probably got some amazing stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man.
No, but I was thinking last night, about when we were listening to Tim. So our buddy Tim is normally on the podcast. He was talking about his first job last night. And I was thinking about it. It wasn't technically my first job, but it was one of the first, and I had it in high school. And I left school early, and I would go work at Pizza Hut. And I was very naive. I was shy. And believe it or not, I mean, I would almost come to tears just when a stranger would address me. It was just so intimidating to me. So every day, I look forward to going in, and I would have them make me a little personal pan pizza. I'd eat it, and I was proud, like I earned this because I work here, and this is a perk, bitch. I got some real business perks going on. So, but then I noticed that my buddy, there's a black guy named Fred. He would never eat there, ever. And I go, Fred, what is the deal, man? You're not going to take advantage of these sweet perks here at Pizza Hut and get you a pizza? He goes, there's no way in hell. He goes, have you not noticed what Linda does every day? And I go, no. So Linda was our manager. And now keep in mind, I was working in Central Florida in the dead of summer, hot as balls out there, humid. And so she was a very overweight. She had long, stringy hair, and she rode to work every day on the back of her husband's motorcycle.
No shit.
Yeah. So when she got there, mid-afternoon, she'd literally, I shit you not, she would get there, and so the sauce for the pizza was like in 5-gallon buckets. Mm-hmm. And so she would just, if one was a third of the way full and the other one was halfway full, she would dump the smaller amount into the larger amount to kind of
marry them.
To marry them together, right. But to make sure that they got mixed in, she roll her sleeve up and stick her fat arm in there and mix it with her arm. Yes.
No way.
I swear. And then she would just kind of push the excess off her arm, off her fingertips, and flop it in. And Fred looked at me. He goes, all these people in that restaurant, they're all eating Linda's fat arm right now. He goes, you included. God. Oh, it was brutal.
No more perks for you.
No, so that was the end of my perks right there. Yeah, so, which was, and it made me sick, and it makes me sick to think about it now, even today. But that guy, that he was so pure and innocent that he was my one black friend. So I had the thing back then was we used to roll people's houses with toilet paper.
Yeah.
That was like the end thing. So I had this girl I broke up with, and I told him, I said, hey man, I said, we're gonna go roll this chick's house. And he goes, what is that? He goes, that must be a white person thing. He goes, I've never heard of it in my life. And so I explained it to him. So we raided the supply closet at Pizza Hut when we closed. It was just me and him. We took every roll of toilet paper they had out of there, loaded it up. I said, you can ride with me. We went to her house, and we noticed that there was one light on in the front. Now, hell, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And he was nervous. He goes, I don't know, Dave. I don't know if I can do this. So I said, listen, calm down. It'll be fine. So we go, and she had those big oak trees down in Central Florida, and we just loaded them up. Hell, it must have been 40 rolls we hit her with, and we left. So the next day, it was about 2 days later, Fred doesn't come in. And we're like, where's Fred? And the guy was pretty reliable. He was a cook. And so finally he shows up about an hour late, and he goes straight into the freezer. And he's screaming, crying, And I go in there and I check on him. And he goes, you got my mom fired. And I go, what? He goes, yeah. So what happened is, long story short, you talk about a small world. My ex-girlfriend, her father was the boss of Fred's. And so she had recently gotten let go. Mm-hmm. And so they were on vacation, and I didn't know that. My ex-girlfriend was on vacation, and their house was being robbed at the time that we were rolling the house.
What?
Yes. So they wiped that whole house out. So they tracked it down to Fred was getting revenge. They didn't believe that Fred and I just rolled the house, but they thought we robbed it and rolled it. And so the police came, and it was a huge ordeal. I thought we were all going to jail.
No shit.
So I called Lisa up, and I told her, I said, listen, man, I said, this is a misunderstanding. I said, I mean, we've rolled each other's houses before, and it was a joke. I said, but you got to understand, man, we're not the robbing type,
Yeah.
But anyways, that was just, when I think of, first jobs and all that, it was just, that was just a very bizarre period in my life, that whole Pizza Hut thing. So,
yeah, that's crazy, though.
Yeah.
For somebody to lose their job like that.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about first jobs and stuff, this is not a first job, and I cannot say names because there's probably statute of limitations, and this guy may listen to the show, but we used to work at a pizza place also, Little Caesars. Mm-hmm. And it was not my first job, but it was one of my favorite jobs because all my buddies worked there. And so it made it real easy to make money because we all hung out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was just a big fucking party. Well, there was this one friend of mine that worked there, and apparently he caught the eye of the manager. And she was, she liked him. And so she was married to some guy, and I don't know how she was at the time. She couldn't have been maybe late 20s manager. And we were 17 at best, 16, 17. Well, she taught him, or she probably felt like, I think he knew more than she realized, but she gave him a little instruction on more than just pizzas.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about the dipping of the arm in the sauce, well, apparently I always made sure I didn't use this one table when I prepped anything.
Yeah.
Because I think
That's where it went down.
A little extra sauce got made on
Golly.
on this one.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where she had him always closing with him. Like
That was her special help, or
oh gosh.
Was she a cutie?
No.
Oh.
No.
She was kind of like my Linda, with a big fat arm and
Yes.
stringy hair.
No, she wasn't that bad. She's about middle ground. I mean, she wasn't atrocious, but she wasn't, somebody you'd want to parade around, So the way he looked at it, she had large breasts and was willing, so,
Hey, can't argue with that. I'm a titty guy.
well, I'll tell a story. It's not mine, but this recently happened. So my little brother is he's 15. He's got his first job, and
Is he getting to close a lot?
no,
Exactly.
No, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
My little brother's 15. Got his first job. He works up here at a hotel, and
Sorry.
y'all are fucking me up.
I'm sorry. That's my
We're
fault.
gonna cut all this out.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Okay. So my little brother's got a job working up here in Fultondale at the new hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And the manager had...
I don't know why.
Just go.
Go.
The manager had him and a couple other guys going around flipping mattresses. And my brother found his first big dildo under one of the mattresses.
How do you leave that? How do you forget that? I mean,
I
that's-
don't know. Dave, did you just recently check in up here? He said it was about this big.
Really?
Had a fist on the end of it.
I saw mine at home just before I left, so I know it's not mine.
I don't know why, but it's just when I couldn't help but laugh. But it's just it felt like we were just elevating each one. We went from arming thing, sex on thing. Well, my brother he works at a hotel. Oh shit!
Yeah, got a dildo like a 4x4. Jeez. All right. Damn.
Life is crazy. I'm telling all these funny growing up stories as far as what jobs you had and different things like that. I always think back to movies. I'm a movie fan. What movies would you say that shaped your life or most relates to your growing up? I tend to get into more of the Gone in 60 Seconds, Casino was a big thing. I loved my young 20s. Pulp Fiction, probably my favorite movie of all time. Goodfellas, Scarface was pretty good. It probably wasn't one of my favorites, but it was a pretty good movie. And I guess if you were going to say what style of movie defined you as growing up, I think would really relate to what kind of person or what kind of kid you were growing up. What do you think?
I misunderstood you. I thought you were asking what movies that we watched when we were kids.
Yeah, because that defines you.
But all those movies you just listed, I mean, you're a lot older than that.
Well, it doesn't matter then. I mean, it didn't have to be
They
like
weren't
when
out
you're
when
a
you were
kid. I mean, when it shows you're growing up. What movies defined the shaping of your personality?
I don't watch a whole lot of movies. Or I didn't. I'm trying to catch up. I watched Scarface the other day just because everybody rants about how good it was or that it's a classic or... I don't know. It was okay.
Well, what in your teens to 20s would you say what defined you as Amber when it came to movies?
I don't know. I've always enjoyed horror movies, comedy movies. I think probably when I was a teen, Adam Sandler, anything with him, it was really good back then.
What about you,
I was
Dave?
a big Adam Sandler fan.
Were you a Happy Gilmore fan?
No, so when I was young, so you got to keep in mind, people listening probably don't realize this, but I'm the oldest in the group here. So I'm more of an 80s guy. So my movies growing up was Jaws had just came out, I remember, to kind of
Yeah, I was a little kid when that came out.
Yeah, so I remember that making a huge impact. I remember being in the bathtub as a child thinking that a shark was going to come out of the drain. I was very freaked out by that. Star Wars was another one.
Classic.
And, but I remember when they came out first time, brand new ever, and first time seeing a laser gun shoot on movie, and my question was, as great as the movie was, I just couldn't get over. I go, these guys don't ever run out of lasers. I mean, how do their bullets come? You know, and that's what I was worried about, was the details of it. And then of course Indiana Jones. So
Oh, yeah.
it was those three were the ones that, you know, really did it for me. That I remember when they were released. I remember the lines around the block, and just the whole thing of going with my two older brothers and just being dropped off with our cut off jeans, our 80s style hairdo, a comb in the back pocket, our white tube socks with the stripes on them, Adidas shoes, and a corny ass tank top, thinking we were the shit. And we go there. Our mother would pick us up 3-4 hours later, because we were probably playing Asteroids in the lobby right afterwards, or Dig Dug, and that was the time. You know, I mean, it was incredible for movies back then.
Oh yeah, I think Star Wars was the first movie my mother refused to let me go to because I was too young. I remember the kids down the street that were just a little bit older. That's where they were going. Of course, I wanted to go so bad. I didn't even know what I was wanting to go see. I just wanted to go because they were going. And of course, you know, for Christmas, I got the lightsaber. I used to beat the shit out of my brother with, you know, because he was super little, and I just whop him in the head with it.
Yeah.
And but no, Indiana Jones, huge for me. I like that. And then of course, I'm a huge James Bond fan. I remember, can't remember how old I was when For Your Eyes Only came out, but I remember just the gadgets just blew me away.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that was the thing so my brothers, two things. One, my father got a pair of clippers for Christmas one year, and so all the boys in the family had their heads shaved on the regular because he promised my mother that he was going to use the clippers, but she meant on himself, and instead he used it on all the kids.
He got his money's worth.
And then we always had comic books, and we used to always look at the seahorses on the back. And the seahorses, they made it look like they were tiny people, you know. And so I was just completely amazed by it.
Did you ever get suckered into buying some?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we all did.
I never bought them. I always saw them, but I never bought them.
They're basically like little dried up shrimp is what it is. I mean, there's nothing to it. The X-ray glasses, you know, where you see the comic and the guy's looking through his hand and all that.
Yeah.
And we got caught up in all that stuff. Tarzan was big. We used to watch Tarzan a lot on Sundays. Gunsmoke we would watch and stuff.
Well, you're getting more into the TV shows.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what movies? What would you say your big all times are? You named a couple of mine. The original Star Wars, before they fucked it up and added a bunch of extra shit into it. Indiana Jones, of course. You know, that's classic.
Yeah.
You know, then when you start getting into Terminator, I remember watching Terminator for the first time. Didn't watch it at the movie theaters, but watched it at the house on cable, and I was just like in awe about that shit. You know.
So I remember when the I don't remember which one it was. The liquid guy, the metal guy.
Oh yeah.
They were talking about that was cutting edge technology. Watching that guy transform from a human into liquid metal, and how just it's going to transform the whole movie industry.
And it did.
It did. But now look at where we are. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Amber was watching Mowgli the other night, and she didn't know if the damn kid was real or not. And she was like, because all the other stuff looked so good.
Yeah.
She's like, is that baby real? And I'm like, yeah, I think that baby's real.
But I mean, even the animated stuff looks so good, and I knew that it was animated, but it made me question
the baby.
Yeah.
When you start questioning whether a
The
child
people are
is a fucking real or not, it gets pretty amazing.
I haven't seen it. You recommend it?
Yeah, it was really good.
It's just basically the Jungle Book, right?
It is, but they
Yeah.
changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, check it out.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That and the Christmas Chronicles, I always push that.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a couple times. I haven't watched it.
I've watched it twice.
I will say A Christmas Story is the only thing I remember as far as family traditions. Every Christmas,
Yeah.
we had that on TV.
On the TV.
every year.
The 24 hours or 48 hours of
Yeah.
Christmas Story. as a programmer, that has to be a great day for you. You just put that bitch on a loop
Right.
and
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about coming in.
Well, I just think any holidays, they probably got a certain set of movies for Christmas that they play on the regular. Same thing with Halloween. Just they're gonna run through all 25 Saw movies and all that.
Oh shit, yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about movies though, because I was beating up the TV the other day because I didn't feel like doing crap now that it got cold, so I was trying to think about all the movies that I really like to watch and the ones I watched too much. Casino being one of them, Goodfellas being another. I hadn't watched Gone in 60 Seconds in a while, but that was a good movie. That's
Was
probably
there a remake of that? Or are you talking about the one with Nicolas Cage?
the one with Nicolas Cage is a remake of the original, but the one with Nicolas Cage is one I watched a lot. So, but I think that was the first movie I kind of started digging Angelina Jolie in. But I almost forgot Dusk Till Dawn. Talking about a cheesy movie. But I'm gonna tell you what, when Salma Hayek came out with that damn snake,
Game over, baby.
My world changed.
Yeah.
I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
It's I mean, as bad as that movie is,
Yeah.
I watch it every time.
There are certain scenes in movies that when they come on, it is a draw the curtain, dim the light, light a candle, maybe loosen your pants up a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta get at least a couple fingers down there.
Yeah, and just take it in, So that's one of them.
That is probably in the top 3.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
that scene.
Golly, that made her career, in my opinion. That's you talking about something that happened that skyrockets your career.
Yeah,
that was it for her. I mean, in my opinion, I'm sure she's done other stuff that she'd probably argue with, and say that this or that was what really made her. But for me, as a fan, that was it for me.
Well, I mean, you think about how many teenage boys there are in America, and they were all rooting for her at that point.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah.
I mean, everybody that saw that.
There wasn't cell phones back then like there are now.
Right.
Yeah, just DVRs getting worn out. I gotta clean the lens on my DVR.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's all you got for us there, Amber? On
Yeah,
movies?
she's not a big movie, I guess.
Dang.
Yeah.
Boo.
Hit a dry spot on her.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not hard to do.
Easy.
Yeah. All right.
Throw the lube out there.
So, I will tell you, I had, just kind of going back, if you want to stick with the childhood, and it's not really childhood, but when I was in high school, I was on a wrestling team there, and we actually, that was my first time really being part of a team, and we had built this camaraderie, and it really was incredible. And so there was a whole cast of characters on there that just blew my mind. So we had this one guy on there, I won't give his last name, but Tom, and he had the worst case of Tourette's, I'll tell you, that I've ever seen before or since. Even today, to this day, you just didn't see anybody with Tourette's like him. And so I had him in a couple classes and then on wrestling tournaments and stuff. And it seemed like he would intentionally not take his medication to kind of tamp it down. So there was a teacher that we didn't really care for. And so I remember the days where we'd be taking a test and it would just be like a library, silent in there. And the teacher, they pace between the aisles as we're taking a test. And you could always hear Tom throughout the test going, throughout. And then the teacher would walk by and Tom would be like, asshole. And he wouldn't even look up. He'd go, hey, sorry about that. And he go, and then he would follow it up with, fuck you. And you're like, God damn. So you can't even concentrate on the whole thing. So I remember one day it was getting close to Christmas. And what made me think of it was just we're on the Christmas season.
Yeah.
So we're on the bus. We're going to a tournament across state. And the coach goes, all right, guys, listen, we're 30 minutes away from school, from the campus we're going to wrestle at. I need silence. and just concentrate on the moves, the things we've practiced. And we were all going to state every year. I mean, we were just murdering these schools. He goes, focus, focus. He goes, I need silence on this bus the last 30 minutes. So it's quiet. And we pass a McDonald's, and they were giving out Santa's reindeers of stuffed toys, and they had them all listed. And so we drive by, and Tom goes, Dasher, fix it. And he just runs through the whole list of them. Cupid, Donner, Comet, fix it. And he just ripping through them. And the coach goes, Tom, did you take your medicine? He goes, sorry, coach. I forgot to take it. And then he goes, fuck you, Rudolph, fuck you. We're like, fucking guy. So, but anyway, it was just so funny, and it's just incredible. And that guy was a straight killer. I mean, he was going to a state, and he was winning on the regular, you know. But to see him out there wrestling, damn, choking a guy out and just, fuck you, and just fucking that dude's world up it was incredible. But he's went on to be very, very successful. And so, I say good for him, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've never met anybody with Tourette's that I know of.
It was back then, but you got to keep it in mind. So, you know, that was in the 80s. I don't know what the medicine or the treatment was at that time, but it was he was very raw, you know, and I mean, he would cuss you out to your face and then right afterwards apologize and then follow it up with another insult. And you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy, you know? But it was a wild scene hanging out with him.
Well, basically, Tourette's is you have no filter.
Right.
And so you almost have to ask, is this what this motherfucker actually thinks of me, or does he just hate everybody?
Yeah. No. Oh, I mean, it was racist comments. It was everything. And he was just blasting people all the time. And it was wild. It was a wild scene.
Well, did he get a pass for the most part?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was a very beloved person in school, you know. And I think it was his humility and his personality that make him so likable. Mm-hmm. And everybody pulled for him. They wanted to see him succeed because of his personality and because it was, I wouldn't call it a handicap, but it was definitely a weakness in his armor. And so you're like, this guy.
Family had tough armor.
Jeez, it
Fuck
was.
You.
But the thing is, I mean, damn, dude, our mothers would be there. Be like, hey, Miss Clements, fucking bitch. And then you're like, Tom, sorry about that. Sorry, Miss Clements. And you're like, golly, you know. And it was a wild scene.
Yeah, man, that is pretty good.
Actually, when I was in elementary school, I had a kid at our school that had Tourette's, and I got stuck. I say I got stuck. We got put in the same class every year, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. He was always in my classroom, but they are something to get used to.
So you experienced that?
Oh yeah, but I mean, I had a different experience because I was little, and so that was kind of scary. You know, we'd have, what do you call the tornado drills where you have to go sit out in the hallway and everything, and got to be quiet, and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs down these hallways where it's echoing. You can hear him all through the school.
Yeah.
He's just saying things that you're not supposed to say.
Yeah. Oh, this guy would jump. He would jump up and kick himself, both feet. He would jump up with both feet behind him and kick himself with both feet, and then just do like punch out into the air all the time. It was, I'm telling you, man, it was a scene to behold. That guy. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't do office work.
No. Nor is he a surgeon. So
yeah, nor is he a surgeon.
Yeah. So
that is pretty crazy, though. Damn.
Well,
I'd like to sit with somebody with Tourette's though one time just to.
Surely by now, because you said yours was in the 80s, mine was early 90s, my experience.
Yeah.
Surely they've got some kind of better treatment for it.
Well, I actually saw him on TV, and he didn't really show hardly any signs at all.
They got him dialed in.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, he was on a television show. I told you he's gotten some success with his business. And so I saw him a couple of years ago on TV, and it blew me away because I didn't know that's the line of work he was in. And yeah, he seems like he's got it well under control now.
That's good.
So
I bet he's got some funny stories though too. Some shit he's done that he's like, you'll never believe what I got away with.
yeah, oh, there's no
yeah,
doubt.
I do wonder, like, some of it, like with calling the teacher the asshole.
Yeah.
And then apologizing.
Well, and the thing is, shit. I mean, and he was super smart, but we all wanted to be in Tom's class because he would study, he'd get straight A's, and he was virtually calling out the answers to all the questions as he was taking his test. Yeah.
Y'all like, yeah. I'm sitting next to Tom in his fucking mouth.
Yeah. So, but anyways, it was high school in Florida. I'll tell you, it's wild down there. It's a wild, huge scene. So it was right outside Daytona Beach. So we would skip school, and then everybody would just go to the beach, and it was a fun time. And I don't know. I look at high school students now, and it seems like it's different now.
Well, yeah, they're so caught up on what other people think about them and this and that, and that they don't seem to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy.
They do. I guess they do have fun, but it's almost like all social media, tied up.
Yeah.
It's not. We're just going to be in the moment, be with each other, enjoy each other's company, bond, laugh. Maybe we'll drink a little bit, we'll fuck off, meet girls, and it just seems like it's a different time now.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I was talking to my son, and something came up, and I'm like, I was giving him the lecture, I guess, for some shit he was doing, but I was telling him, I was like, man, I said, all we did was hang out, drag race, and chase girls.
Right.
I said, why are you worried about all this other stuff that he was worried about? I'm like, y'all putting too much effort into nothing.
Yeah.
Versus just hanging out. But it was but I tell you what, he tried to get my ass. He wanted to go hang out on the other side of town last night, and I told him no. Because he wanted me to come pick him up, and I'm like, oh, he goes, you're gonna be downtown anyway. You can swing by there. I'm like, no, not even close. I'm not. He wanted to go over to the other side of Hueytown, and so I was like, I'm not going that way.
Yeah. So what? He didn't go?
Oh yeah, he hustled his mother into it.
Right. Yeah.
All right, but let's start easing this thing out of here. It's getting towards the end of the show, but if you have Tourette's and you want to protest Dave, make sure you call in the number 205-779-8474. And remember also, we have not finished doing our intro contest, and we're looking forward to a lot of you guys finishing calling in so we can pick something up. But so if you want 30 seconds, do an intro. You know the show, you can be funny, you can be serious, you can be sexy. Anything that you want to do, just give us a call at 205-779-8474. And if you just want to call in and let us know or text us to that number, anything that you want us to talk about. Yeah, you can text that number.
How does that work?
Just like any other text.
How do we get them?
We get them through our thing, our service provider.
Well, that's fancy.
That's fancy.
Look at you, all bougie and shit.
So if you want to call, text, whatever you want to do to that number, just let us know. Anything that you want us to talk about, anything you want to bitch about, we'll play it on the air. So, any guys, you got anything else you want to add before I take us on out?
No. Just make sure and call into that number. Try and leave a message if you want to be a part of history here at the Furlough Podcast. We will sure make you part of the recording. And really, we don't have a set time for how long we'll use your voice. But if it's something that you ever wanted to, maybe you've never called into radio or never called into a podcast before, you won't have the pressure of having to deal with us. You can just leave a message, and then we can use it as is.
All right, guys. Till next time.